حياكم الله منورين حلوين في اليوتيوب. هلا وسهلا. زي ما تعودنا كل سنة نتابع البث سوا سوا ونشوف ايش عندهم مع التحديث الجديد. هسه الحين بيطلعوا بس باقي دقيقة اتوقع يطلعون بس. ويا ان شاء الله يعجبكم التحديث. نبدأ. إذا بدأ أحد بالله علمني ها. ذاكر يا قلبي، بالتوفيق بالتوفيق في الدعاء، الله يسهل لك إن شاء الله تجيب في المارك يعني. اشتغل الآن.
I bet you didn't waste any time as soon as you heard that Inazuma was organizing a test of courage event, right? Huh? I know you. Oh, what am I doing? Well, obviously I'm here scouting out the place. I've been investigating the area and I've already figured out all the plans for the event. Of course, I can tell you all the details. We're practically family. I'm Max Middleman, and this is the Genshin Impact version 3.3 special program.
وعليكم السلام.
Let's roll the version 3.3 trailer.
نورينا جميعا، ايش اخباركم؟ يلا بدينا. الناتي يا ويلي كتسين.
A friendly word of advice. Test of courage events tend to give rise to a variety of strange rumors and stories.
نرجع انزوما.
So please, be sure to exercise caution.
How was that? Were you scared?
بدت خبالته ذا ابلش.
Who goes there?
So, is there really a ghost around here? Oh, why this time I have a feeling that it's staring right at us?
Are you?
دوم هناتي بخير، دامكم بخير يا عيني. يا ويلي في دد مو ايتو اللي قاعد يلعبهم. لعبوا علينا الدكتور.
Jester, I have completed the task you gave me.
From this day forth, Balladeer and Kabukimono will cease to exist.
Did you really think you would be able to see through my plan?
Dottore. Dottore! In that case, I'll take some time for myself now.
Let's go! وكذا تحول في قصة وراها. Let's go! كنت أبغى كذا من أول.
Squall and Fury.
شكله حولته. تدوم سعادتك هناتي. حولوه يا ويلي.
Dare to mess with me?
فيروزان.
Too late for regret.
حيو يما، حيو يا عيوني، كيف حالك؟
Have fun with this gift.
حبيت.
Scaramouche. The mere fact of your utility does not make you indestructible.
All sense clear, all existence void. Damn. هذا وين بيروح؟ صح، الكود الأول. أنا مشغل اللعبة. يا ويلي متحمس بزيادة يا ويلي. بالو سكارا يا ليل. البال سواء مظلوم واحد ينتظر إن شاء الله. بال ما حتجي، شكله ايتو بيجي مع سكاراموش ومع فيروزة. أنا أتوقع كذا. يا قلبي ما أحلم يجي من نص الدوام. الله يسهل لك ويوفقك يا عيني. ان شاء الله بس يكون ورثت يعني. صراحه في البدايه شكلها ورثت يعني. تو اللقطه لو بكذا اعطيها راي سريع مره حلوه، لان اعطونا لمحه. وش اعطونا طبعا عن الايفنت الجاي وهو ايفنت الشبح. ما ادري ايش دخل ايتو، بس شكله ايتو بيجي فيه هرجه فيه. بعدين جابوا يوم على منها تو جايين، جابوا شخصيات توهم جايين. جورو فرستار ما مهم. الهرجه اللي جابوها جابوا بال ويتكلم مع الدكتور ويتكلمون وكذا. هذا سكاراموش تجي شاشات عليه تروح. بعدين تحول سكاراموش وقالوا انه الدكتور انت ما تعرف اصلا خطتي.
Hey everyone, and
في شيء
welcome to
مسويه
the Genshin
الدكتور.
Impact version 3.3 special program. I'm your host, Sarah Miller Cruz, the voice of Lumine
والله
in
ابلش
Genshin
يا
Impact.
هناتي لو
And
صارت
today
كذا.
I'm joined by
Max,
أنا أصلاً
the
عندي بالي، ما
one and
فرقت معي.
only middleman voice of the one and only Arataki Ito.
And I'm Patrick.
اوكي لو
Pedraza,
بيجيبونا يا
voice of the
هناتي كان
Wanderer.
حطوها تقعد هنا.
But up until now, travelers have only known me as Scaramouche, and everyone's been battling me in the game lately.
Yeah, that's true. But to be fair, it's a really cool fight.
It's a really cool fight.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, I'm super excited to have the chance to share some upcoming content with everyone. What did
عندك
you all think
يا
about that
يوكي.
trailer?
Okay, so I definitely saw Erminsul in there, and I am
أتوقع دول
really
بيكونون
excited to find
بنر
out more
لحالهم.
about it.
Yeah, that trailer had everything. It had everything. It had action.
يعني
It
ممكن بس
had
يجيبون بنرين.
drama.
أو إنه
It
دول
was
الاثنين في
lighthearted
البنر
in
الأول.
places, but it was dramatic.
ممكن اثنين دول البنر الأول. ما
Dude, I'm
أدري.
just super stoked for everyone to see Scaramouche's like.
إي والله يا
backstory.
هلا يلعب بالقلب
I'm super
حقكم.
excited about it for reals.
أنا الوحيد اللي
Well,
مرتاح مرتاح.
speaking of that, following the story's development, Scaramouche is still in Nahida's custody. So I bet the question everyone's wanting to know is
أيوة.
how he'll become the Wanderer.
Yeah, for
أيوة.
sure. And there's quite a story behind that. If you're interested, then be sure to play through the Archon
Let's
Quest
go.
interlude chapter,
نبي الأركون
Inversion of
كويست.
Genesis.
Let's go.
There's so much to learn in this quest, so I hope
Oh
everyone
my god
checks it
تتفجر
out.
الدنيا
Oh,
بهالمهمة.
come on,
Oh,
man.
you
You can't just
did.
leave everyone hanging like that. How about
واضح
some
إنه
hints?
بيجي يا جاي.
Come on,
بيجي.
please.
ما في ريدن.
Please.
All right. How can I say no to a cute chibi?
تسلميك وتسلميك.
Here's a little preview from the quest.
يا حياتي انا اشوف حساب الامريكي جبته من اول مره تصير
We
لي
ran
وضبط
into
هذا
two
الاوروبي
people at the
جت ميك وكنت
Akademia
بجيبه
today
بعض
talking about
بنا
a
البال اللي
lesson.
بعد على طول جت لي
Turns
بال
out their topic was about the Tatarasuna
انبسطت اني
incident.
انبعثت اصلا.
From what they were saying, it sounded like lots of Tatarasuna's history is still unexplained. And most of the information we have now is just from people filling the gaps with their imagination.
اوه ماي
That's what they
جاد اوه ماي جاد
They guessed right about one thing. Tatarasuna was sabotaged.
Oh.
اوه ماي
Wait, why are you talking about
جاد
Tatarasuna?
I guess we'll have to see. It is interesting, though, to see the Traveler, Nahida, and Scaramouche all together so peacefully like that.
وعليكم السلام مروه ولكم حيو هيا بعد عيني جاي كيفك
Nahida will
مروه؟
task the Traveler and Paimon with
احنا
keeping
بندخل
an eye on
عرض يا شيخ
Scaramouche
اقول
while
كلنا
we go
داخلين
with him
عرض
into
اصلا مع
Erminsul in
الحماس.
search of some information.
Oh,
Sounds
interesting. So obviously Nahida must have some reason for deciding to keep Scaramouche around.
والله
Oh, yeah,
نهيدة ما هي
totally. And I'm
سهلة.
liking
حيو
Scaramouche's new
زعلوشي.
style. Ooh, dude's looking sharp.
Heck yeah, always. No. Right. And at this point, he's known by a completely different name, the Wanderer. I love that name.
Okay, so I know I'm not the only one who's curious about what happened. I mean, it looks like he's really changed a lot.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm
وعليكم السلام
afraid that's all we
يقومون
can
حيو
show
يا
for now.
اسطورتي نور
Travelers
عينك
will have to
بحالك.
experience the story for themselves in game. I mean, it's better to explore the storyline without too many spoilers, right?
True.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Okay,
يا
we'll
لو
leave the
تسوون
rest for
سبويلر
travelers to
بأجلدكم
discover
خلونا
themselves.
نستكشف لما تيجي
But
القصة.
The Wanderer is also going to be a new playable character in version 3.3, so let's talk about that. I'm sure many of our viewers are curious about his talents.
Heck yeah, sure thing. Let's have a look at the Wanderer in combat.
تسيهم بالتوفيق من ان شاء الله
There's no
يديك
need
السلاح
to
اللي
exchange
تبغاه.
pleasantries. It's
اكتب
rather
اكواد اكتب
pathetic
اكواد
to
يطلع
force
لك
a
طلعوا لي
conversation
اكواد خلينا نشوف
just to
سكاراموش.
occupy silence. The wind rises.
يا قلبي لن يا ناس لن يا ويلي.
Bow your head.
عليك لعبة
All
مروه.
right, Patrick, you're up.
ولا
Help
ومسجلين
introduce the
بيوتيوب
Wanderer for us.
تطلعون على بث
Sure
لايف.
thing. The Wanderer is a catalyst user and has an animo vision, so he uses wind blades to perform ranged normal attacks.
Wait a second, wind blades?
Not the same as the Traveler's wind blade, though.
Okay.
So, as everyone probably already noticed, the
Yes.
Wanderer can hover in the air when he casts his elemental skill. Upon
Okay.
using his elemental skill, he will first deal AoE damage before leaping into the air and entering a hovering state. So,
Nice.
while hovering, the Wanderer's normal end charge attacks will be converted into Kugo Fushudan and Kugu Tofukai, respectively.
نايس. لا
The
طاب
damage they
ضربت
deal on their
المهارة
AoE will
سويت
be
المهارة
increased. Their
راح
damage will
يضرب
be
ضربات
considered normal
تشارج
and
ونورمال
charge attack
خاصة
damage,
وراح تنكسر. اوه
respectively.
ماي جاد.
Also, Kugu Tofukai will not consume
يعني
stamina,
يمدينا نلعب معه
and
خلط.
he can remain hovering for a certain
ديدو
duration.
سنشو مع بعض. راح يطلقون لما تفك المهارة ذي راح
I know,
يطلقون
right?
معه.
But he can't stay hovering forever. While hovering, the Wanderer constantly consumes Kuguryoku points to maintain his hovering state, which is the blue meter you see on the screen. Even if he doesn't move or attack, hovering will still consume Kuguryoku points.
نايس طلعوا
So
استامينا
this
خاصة
mechanic
بالطيران
works a
حقه.
little differently than our typical stamina meter. There are many possible actions the Wanderer can perform while hovering in the air, which all rely on Kuguryoku points rather than
شكله مو
stamina.
غوش هو.
So, for example,
Catalyst.
sprinting mid-air will consume additional Kuguryoku points to accelerate mid-air.
مرة حلوة
And
مرة
holding
حلوة.
the sprint button will cause persistent point consumption to maintain speed. So, this effect will replace his default sprint. Jumping expends extra Kuguryoku points to increase hovering height. Holding jump will cause persistent Kuguryoku point consumption to keep increasing hovering height.
يا ويلي
Of course,
يلقى ما
running
ينزل.
out of points will end his hovering
طبعا
state.
تقدر ترقى لين ويقعد ينقص الستامينا لين ما يطيح. يعني نقدر نرقى اعلى شيء بعدين نتسلق في الجبل.
So, with his
يعني
talent,
بيساعد على
Jade Claim Flower,
على النقزة
when
يعني.
casting his elemental skill, if it contacts Hydro, Pyro,
لا ما
Cryo,
يحتاج
or
جوز
Electro, that instance of the skill will receive a corresponding buff effect depending on which element was contacted. So, for example, increasing his Kuguryoku points cap, attack, crit rate, or restoring a set amount of energy upon hitting opponents with a normal
Attack
or
ولا
charged
crit
attack.
rate ولا
The Wanderer
energy.
can have up to 2 different kinds of these buffs
Oh my
simultaneously.
god التأكيد في انواع
check that out.
التأكيد في
Part of the halo
شخصيته.
behind him changes color depending on the buffs you get. So travelers will be able to easily understand what effects the Wanderer currently has.
I like that. It's helpful and still looks really cool.
Yeah.
So, after unlocking another talent, Gales of Reverie, when the Wanderer is in the hovering state, if his normal or charged attack hits an enemy, there is a set chance to gain another buff effect, allowing him to sprint mid-air without consuming Kuguryoku points. Additionally, this buff effect will fire wind arrows to attack the enemy.
Oh, dope. I'm sure extra buff
يا
effects like that will go a
ويلي يا
long way
ويلي
for players.
بفاته زي شو اسمها
Yeah, for sure.
زي
And if you've noticed, there's a
نائدة
colorful
معقدة.
aura of light around his body to
على حسب
indicate when that buff
الرياكشن اللي
effect is
تسويه.
triggered.
تسوي ثلج يعطيه
Pretty
باف زي
cool.
كذا.
I love all the detail they've put into the Wanderer.
All right, this brings us to the Wanderer's
يا ويلي يا
elemental burst.
الحماس.
Yay!
لا لما
So,
تبص.
check this out. Upon unleashing his burst, he compresses the atmosphere and stomps it down toward the enemy. So
Oh my
travelers should
god.
note that if the Wanderer is in a hovering state when he unleashes his burst, then the hovering state will end and he will begin descending after the burst is completed.
Okay,
يا
this
ويلي.
stomping
هذه
animation
Black
is
Void.
a little aggressive.
تبلعوا صدقوني
I know,
راح عالم
and it
ثاني.
actually suits his character.
صدقوني انتقل لعالم
I can't
ثاني.
help but agree.
صدقوني وهذا اللي غيره.
Wait. Let's
Oh
not
my
forget
god
about the
يستخدم
exploration
فويد.
talent.
هذا اللي مفتاح ممكن
This
ينتقلون عنه
is
بعد
an
زمن.
interesting one. The Wanderer can decrease the mora required when
هذا
ascending
سلاحه.
bows and catalysts.
شكله
Hey, now, you can
جامد.
never complain about saving Mora. Am I
شكله
right?
Okay,
جامد.
that's true. All right, now
شكلك
that we've
الدمج
seen the
يوصل
Wanderer,
66.
let's move on to the
عندي
next
إحساس.
new character. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Yay!
What did you say?
والله قليل عليها أوبي أميغو
I'm
من.
old now, so every
فيروزان.
other phrase escapes my ears. Try calling me Madam Farouzan.
مادام
I'll see if I can
وايفو.
pick that up.
يا قلبي يا مادام وايفو. يا حلوة.
Huh?
كيوت.
What is it that you would like to learn more about? Different forms of pressure-based puzzle
أيوة
mechanisms?
هو.
The base layer design of elemental monuments? Huh. Wait,
ولكم يا عسل
did you forget to
كيفك.
call me Madam Farouzan just now when you asked your question?
No مادام وايفو I call
What?
you.
There's nothing wrong with being afraid of thunder, even at an older age.
قلبي بخافت من
Oh, she sounds sassy.
خافت
and
من
smart
الرعد.
too.
فاروزان
You seem
بعد
so
عيني انت
awesome.
والله.
It's fun.
I wonder what
Cute,
her skirt's
cute,
made
I know her
Cute.
design is so cool and really detailed. I love it.
So even though she looks super young, she's actually an old person? Like,
يس شكلها
where's
زعلوش.
my teeth?
Well, she's not that old.
I
Oh,
don't know,
right.
could've fooled me.
Farouzan's age is probably still nothing compared to Scaramouche.
أنا أكيد يا
But let's
فواز.
call him the Wanderer, Sarah. Please.
Okay, you know who I meant.
أنيمو يا سول
Actually,
أنيمو.
now that I think about it, yokai can also live a really long time too.
That's right, yeah, no, and
الفاه
speaking of
يعني
age,
واضح
isn't
إنه
the traveler's age
فاهية.
also kind of mysterious?
100
that's true.
years
It
ago.
looks like all of our characters are
لها 100
intriguing.
سنة عايشة.
But it's safe to say that Farouzan is way older than most people in Tibet. Farouzan works in the Academia's Haravatat Darshan and has been a hairbod which
يا ويلي
roughly
الوايف
means
وذي
mentor
عجوز.
for over a century.
So
هذا تجيب جدك لعجبت اللعبة وانبسط قال شوف هذه عمرها 100 سنة يا جد. تصلح لك.
No, she's actually just your regular typical human being.
Oh.
Well, maybe not so typical. About 100 years ago, Farouzan was an undisputed
شوفوا مكتوب
genius,
تحت هنا.
traveling
A
all around
researcher from
Sumeru and solving many
100
puzzles and
years
mysteries.
ago.
The notes she left
ما
behind
أدري إيش صار
eventually
وضعها.
became the basis of mechanical research for later generations.
Whoa, she sounds pretty amazing.
وضعها مرة
But
رهيب وهذا
later, she
نتعلم عنها أكثر.
accidentally stumbled into some ruins while trying to solve a puzzle. There, she encountered some strange phenomenon which stopped her from aging and was trapped there for nearly 100 years.
علقت
She
في ذاك
eventually
المكان
solved
100
the puzzle
سنة.
and was able to finally return to Sumeru.
لين ما حلت اللغز لغز حشرها 100 سنة.
100 years?
طبعا المكان كان غريب يعني في شيء خلاه ما تكبر في العمر.
Hairbod for over a century.
Yeah. And even now, she
Grand
still has the
boy,
pride of a
dig away.
scholar in her heart and is a very talented person. It's just that after being separated from the world for so long, she's kind of fallen behind the times now.
Oh, hey, I get what you mean. She was once a proud researcher in a niche field that has become
إنها
unpopular after 100
باحثة
years.
وحدة مرة داعية يعني من ذكائها حلت لغز بعد
Yep,
100 سنة.
and she often
يعني
tries using
100
her
سنة
old
جالسة
age as a
تحاول
means
تحل
of
اللغز.
drumming up
حط هذا
support
الشيء
for
في
her
بالكم.
ideas. However, I
يعني
think she'd
حتى
prefer to be
عندها
complained
صبر.
about for using her seniority
ما شاء
rather
الله.
than garnering sympathy for her experience of being trapped in the ruins.
Yeah, sounds like she's quite the character.
I know, right? Okay, so now that we've covered her backstory, why don't we take a look at Farouzan's abilities in combat?
Let's do it.
Fight, 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 fight.
100 years
هذه داري نبوه خلينا نشوف وضعها. صراحة لأن أبوه مو مرة متحمس. وعليكم السلام مساء النور. بدري لو رصيدك. منورة عيني كيف حالك؟
Have fun with this gift.
أكواد دائما يس.
I
حتى
love
قانيو
all the
الدي اس
geometric
استخدمها
shapes when
سبورت.
she's playing. Did you guys see that?
Yes, there's so much geometry, and I took geometry.
It looks so cool.
Ah, yeah.
Looks so
So
cool.
Farouzan is an animo character, and she wields a bow as her weapon. Her normal attacks are the usual bow attacks you'd expect from a bow user, so there's not too much to say about that. But her skills are where things get interesting. Her elemental skill deploys a polyhedron that deals damage to enemies. After using her skill, her next aimed shot will become a special attack that creates a
Double hit
vortex,
animal.
pulling nearby objects and opponents in.
Oh, nice.
Which
so
is
she can
حبهم.
clump enemies together.
And there's
Nice.
also another thing about her special charged attack. It will create a vortex effect at its point of impact. And if the attack hits an enemy or ally member, it'll apply a mark and create a vortex after a short delay.
اوكي حلو.
So it
لما
looks
تسوي
like
الفورتكس
there'll be a
حقه
lot of
بالشارج
potential uses for this
بدك تداخل
attack.
الاريا
Travelers will have to
راح يجي
experiment
عليك
with it and
اكس.
see what they come up with.
الاكس اللي يجي
I
عليك
think it'd be
هذا
amazing to try
بعدين
hitting teammates
راح
with the
ينفجر
arrow
من
in co-op
جديد
mode
وهذا
and
الاكس
have
ممكن
them
يطلع على
charge
اعداء.
into the enemies to group them all together. I'll have to see who
نايس.
wants to try that with
مرة
me.
حبيت. شوفوا يولا تو هي اللي
After
انفجرت لان
unlocking
يولا
the
كانت بين
talent
الاعداء.
Impetuous Flow, the time required for fully charging Farouzan's next shot will be reduced, and the arrow will reduce the target enemy's animo resistance. In her elemental
Okay.
burst, she deploys a dazzling polyhedron and releases a whirlwind pulse.
يب هناتي
Throughout
يب
its
وعليكم
duration, the
السلام.
dazzling
اي اس دي
polyhedron
بي
will
دبليو منور
continuously
يعني
move
كيف
along a
حالك؟
triangular path. Once it reaches each corner of that
ما
triangular
شفت
path,
ايمي يا
it will
هناتي.
unleash one more whirlwind pulse.
ولا لما العب شو
One
اسمه.
minute she's here, the next
أوه،
she's
تتنقل، حلوة.
probably gone for 100 years.
هذا الالف حقها
No,
تروح تسحب في كل مكان. تجمع لك جماعات في كل زاوية.
It was pretty
All
funny.
right. Anyway, let's
حلو إذا
hear what
مساحتهم مرة
effects these
بعيدة.
whirlwind pulses have.
Sure. When the whirlwind pulse hits opponents, it
بإذن الله
will decrease
يمديكي.
their animo resistance.
تفجيرهم
It will
تفجير.
also apply an animo
مو
damage
الأعداء.
buff effect to all nearby party members when it's
عبد
unleashed.
الرحمن يا بعدين عشت
Travelers should
الاسامي يا
note
عسل
that the
عشت الاسامي
effective
كيف
range of
حالك
this
عبد الرحمن
buff is
طمني
quite
عنك.
large, and it's not just within the whirlwind pulse itself, so there's no need to go chasing the polyhedron. After unlocking her talent, Lost Wisdom of the Seven Caverns, when a team member uses normal, charged, or plunging attacks, elemental skills, or elemental bursts to deal animo damage to an enemy, the damage will increase based on Farouzan's base.
اوه ماي جاد
This
هي
effect can
سنشو
only be
انيمو.
triggered once for a
شوف
certain
الرشاش
duration
اللي
of
فوق
time.
قاعد
So
يطلق.
it seems she'll be the solid support.
Yeah.
Totally. And as a researcher of mechanics and
الا يا
puzzles,
قلبي بس
Farouzan
عاد
has taken
انسى
it
مع
upon
الاسم من
herself
كثر
to
الاسماء.
explore many ruins, with her
سامحني يا عيني يا
travels
عبد الرحمن.
taking her all across Sumeru. Her exploration talent
بس
reflects
يسر
this,
يا مرة
and she
يعني
gained
شفت
more
اكثر من
rewards
مرة.
when dispatched on a Sumeru expedition for 20 hours.
I'm sure no other mentor in her avatar has 100 years of experience in solving puzzles.
بعدين تعال فواز تعال. ما في شخصية تسوي تيم نفس الوقت. هذه تجمع وتطلق رشاش. جابوا لك 4 ستار بروكن يلا.
That is a good question. Let's talk about the
وتنزل الانيمو
upcoming event
ريزيستنس
wishes.
عشان كذا
In the
قاعدين
early
يلعبون
part of
معها
version 3.3, the
سكرو
Wanderer and
شار
Arataki
ويلعبون
Ija will be
معها
available via their own
ووندرور.
event wishes.
هذا الفيز
Farouzan will also
الاول
be making her
اوكي.
debut in these event
شكله
wishes.
بال جايه.
In the later
يلي
part of
خايفين
version
بال
3.3,
هناتشي.
we'll be seeing
يا
rerun
قلبي
event
قد
wishes
بال
for
اياتو
both the
لا.
Righty Shogun and Kamisato Ayato.
لا.
And last but not least,
اياتو
the
بي
new
سي.
5-star catalyst, Tule Tule's Remembrance, will be appearing in a new weapon event wish.
And that's not all. In version 3.3, 2 brand new artifact series will become available. So travelers should be sure to check out the corresponding domain.
Woo! More artifacts!
شهودة الحين
I hope
مبسوطة.
travelers will have fun experimenting and trying new combinations with these.
اوه ستات.
Okay,
انا مدمج.
we've already
when you cut
talked
the
about a
story
ton of new content, so
increase
why
amateur
don't we
mastery.
take a
The
quick break
quoting
with
character
another
bloom, have a
redemption
bloom,
code.
and burger
Sounds good. Roll out the code.
the quoting character trigger bloom. Okay, let's go. الثاني الارتفاكت الثاني رهيب مع تيم نيلو. تيم بلوم ما في الا هو. الحمد لله ان انتظرنا يا الحمد لله اني ما غرمت. ما في اتش بي نص ما في بس انت الماستري هذا بيروح وش اسمها هذه الناهده يا فواز. ايتو سكارا يس وبعدهم بال واياتو. انا كنت ابي اجيب اياتو صراحه سي 2 عندي سي 0 بس شكلها كذا بس نجيب سكارا ونسحب عليه. جابوا لك يا زعلوس جابوا لك يا انبسط. والله يعوضك يا هاناتشي. الان انا عرفت حزنك لاني انا ابغى اياتو بعد. توهم جايبينه ما توقعت يجيبونه بسرعه. ما في الاول انيمو والثاني البلوم. البلوم ممكن ينفع عليها فواز صار ممكن ينفع عليها بدون اتش بي.
Okay, Patrick, what do we have next?
So next we'll be
هذا
covering the
الايفنت في
upcoming
سلاح
events
بيجينا
of the new
مجانا
version.
سولد.
That's right.
Well,
We've already
Crown.
mentioned the Test of Courage event, and I'm sure plenty of you were wondering about that, so let's start there.
ستار زين.
You must be here to participate in the Test of Courage. I can
هذا
already see a
الشبح هذا
dark
ايفنت
aura
الشبح.
surrounding the two of you. If you carelessly go running into the event, all it'll take is one little misstep.
والله ما راح اقدر
The
اصبر بس حبل
darkness will
سكارا.
swallow you up.
يا ويلي.
Some strange and unusual things may occur along the way. If you ever feel you can't handle it, you may withdraw from the event at any time. This is your last chance. I'll count it down. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Test of Courage. Enter at your own risk.
That was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it is a test of courage, so I'm sure there'll be some scary stuff going on there.
I ain't scared.
Anyway, to successfully clear this event, we'll be facing a series of little tests.
Ooh, what's this? Tests, you say?
Yes, that's right. Word has it that if you walk around the test of courage, you might find yourself encountering a special sort of game. We've already got the
ما
rules
كنسل
down,
أنا.
so I'll do a quick introduction.
لعبونه
Basically,
عندي.
travelers will have to control a bouncing bar to bounce a ball and use skill ball effects to break as many
عديل
bricks
يا
as
ربي
possible.
يسعدك شكرا على
I'm liking
الفولو
this
يا عيني
one.
منورة
Seems pretty
اهلا اهلا.
straightforward.
During the game,
أخبارك؟
travelers will be able to trigger elemental reactions to
يا
break bricks more effectively.
عمي
Nice.
تقول
Even
هذول
has
نلعب
elemental
تترس.
reactions.
Yeah, we
الو
can control the character to move the bar.
ولا اللي
When
زي
the character
تترس.
we're using is either pyro, hydro, cryo, or electro, the corresponding element will be applied to the bar. By switching characters, you can change the element of the bar.
Okay, all the
Okay,
pieces are falling into
الكاركتر
place now.
راح
The
تختار
bar
لك
can
الشخصية اللي
infuse a certain
تلعبها.
element, and the blocks also have their own elements. So causing a skill
يا
ball of one
ويلي
element
نيجي
to
القم.
hit blocks of
حلوة،
different
حلوة.
elements will trigger elemental reactions. There, how'd I
لوفي
do?
يرقص يا
Yep, you
لوفي.
nailed it. The bar will add the element corresponding to your
عادل
character.
آسف يا
Besides
عادل
triggering
عاشت الأسامي يا
reactions the way
عيني.
you just mentioned, If a skill ball is already infused by an element and it hits the bar, it will also trigger a reaction, causing the skill ball to have some additional effects.
العاب سنة نلعب ذيك الطيارة اللي في الجو تطير وكذا قدامك طيارات في السماء في الغلاف الجوي المهم.
Also, when there are less than a certain amount of
تاخذ قطع تصير رشاشك أقوى وأسرع. كنا نلعبها بالأركيد وعند السينمات.
Whoa, cool. Yeah. Travelers can utilize this effect to break some bricks that would normally be difficult to hit directly.
مو عنصر الرشاش اللي قاعد يطلقه.
Bonus attack.
Yeah. So
طيب خلاص ترى بنت بيض لا تطولون عليه لا تطولون عليه بيض فهمنا كل شيء خلاص.
And use different elemental reactions to break bricks and score more points.
And then travelers will be able to use their points to exchange for rewards in the event shop, correct?
يا بعد سلامتك يا عادل ما تشوف
شر. Also, travelers will have the option of teaming up and playing the event together in co-op mode.
Oh, looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, super fun.
Yeah, in addition to this minigame, the Test of Courage storyline will also contain more challenges. Travelers will even have a chance to meet with some good friends again, so be sure to check out this new event. Alright, let's move on to our next event.
Okay, so next up, we have a race event called Across the Wilderness. Your objective,
هو كان حلو بس ليش نعيده؟ غير نجمع بالون.
Abilities might come in real handy here.
ايش الخياس ذا؟
I know, right?
So, in this event, each stage will have
لعبة الطفولة. هذا اللي يعني حمسني عليه شوية.
Travelers will need to find as many wilderness balloons as possible within the time limit to earn increasingly better rewards.
صفة من صفاتك أنت يا عادل. يا جميل يا حلو أنت. ولكم عمو بلال نور.
So it'll be important to assemble the right team depending on the traits and terrain
right
of
team.
the challenge area.
قال لك right team.
Yeah, so travelers can also use something called the Wilderness Compass to obtain various buffs, which include enhanced jumping capabilities, increased movement speed, or unlimited stamina, etc.
Ooh, cool.
However, you can only claim one buff during each challenge. You must consume blessed energy to use the compass and gain the selected buff. You may charge the compass up by finding wilderness balloons or interacting with blessed energy in the challenge. Or you can always wait for the compass to passively charge over time.
Yo, this event looks pretty crazy. It's
no,
almost like
looks
watching
pretty boring.
Yeah, there are two different kinds of wilderness balloons in these challenges.
The first
is harvest balloons, which will increase the overall progress of your search for wilderness balloons. The other kind is sonar balloons, which will cause several harvest balloons to appear around you for a set amount of time.
That's awesome.
So there will be 5 stages available for this event, and travelers will need to consider the conditions and terrain of each stage to come up with the best way to complete it. Also, travelers may team up in co-op mode for challenges.
More chances to play together. I love it.
Okay, let's move on to our next event.
Everyone's favorite game of hide and seek is back with the Wind Race event. And of course,
في الفيز الثاني يا عبد الرحمن. يعني مو أول ما يجي التحديث لا بعد التحديث تقريبا بأسبوعين كذا.
Many of you might already be familiar with this event by now.
يعني باقي له الآن شهر أسبوع يمكن.
Let me introduce what travelers can expect to see this time around. We can probably skip some of the basics this time. You know, players either hide or seek.
Hide or seek. Let's go!
Okay, wait a second. There actually might be some new travelers out there who've never seen this event before.
نسوي بطولات عليها. Let's go.
Start with some of the basics.
ردي على الايفنت الأسطوري. ردي عرض الايفنت تربي حرامي.
This is a game with a long history in Mondstadt. Travelers will be split into 2 different sides, the rebels and the hunter. You will need to use skills and master the art of hiding or chasing down others to win this event. The goal of the hunter is to capture all the rebels, while the rebels run or use other means to keep themselves from getting caught by the hunter.
Okay, that's straightforward enough. So, what else you got for us?
Well, some travelers may remember playing as the rebels and getting caught early in the game. Once that would happen, all you could do was spectate and watch the rest as the others continue playing. But this time around, once you're caught, you'll still be able to participate in the match.
Nice. حتى لما تمسك يمديك تشارك في اللعبة.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Once you're in observer mode, you can't be seen by other players and will receive the illusory beacon skill. This skill will allow you to place a random beacon to confuse the hunter. If your beacon successfully is destroyed, then the hunter will suffer an obscured vision effect.
So even after you've been captured, you can be like a little ghost, trying to help your teammates by disrupting the hunter.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun. And at least you won't have to sit there and just watch the rest of the match anymore.
Exactly, but what does the hunter get this time? I mean, we gotta keep it fair.
Some new windward arts have been added for both the hunter and the rebels. The hunter will now be able to use the hunter's net. This net can be thrown and will remove any rebel disguises within its range. And will notify the hunter that a rebel was detected. If a beacon is caught in the net, it will be destroyed and the hunter will not suffer from obscured vision.
Nice. So I guess if you love playing hunter, you'll probably love this.
Oh yeah, you definitely should. The skill rebels used in previous versions of the game to place beacons can now only be used by players in observer mode. However, the rebels will be able to use an all-new concealing beacon skill. This skill will allow you to deploy a beacon for a set duration and remain invisible while you're around that beacon. All players, including your rebel teammates, will be unable to see you while you're invisible. If the concealing beacon is destroyed by the hunter, then the hunter will have their vision obscured for a short time. Sounds pretty fun, huh? Yeah. So even if you end up being captured by the hunter at the start of the game, you'll still be able to participate and assist your teammates. And did I mention primo gems and other rewards? The good stuff. So be sure to check it out.
Oh, that's awesome. Seriously, I can't wait to play with friends. Okay, our next event is a combat-based event.
Time for some combat!
Whoop, whoop.
In a forbidden place warded by dust and sand, mysterious foes have assembled lines of fortifications to stop your coming.
هذا من جديد واضح.
That's right, a new edition of Misty Dungeon will arrive in version 3.3.
عرفته.
Stoked. Sweet. But this time around, there will be a total of 7 trials with different themes awaiting you in the Misty Dungeon. Each has a different leyline disorder, and travelers will have to adjust their teams according to the disorder's effects and the distribution of enemies. There will also be trial characters for you to select from as well. After entering the domain, travelers will need to go and complete 3 challenges to collect ancient runes. After collecting power from 3 ancient runes, we can power up the control array and proceed to the final challenge. Also, throughout the trial, additional benediction mechanisms and challenges will appear. Travelers may choose to interact with these to increase the leyline disorder's effects or revive and heal the team.
You know, if it were up to me, I'd say just go for all the challenges.
I know, but travelers should keep in mind that the challenge objective for each trial might be different. So be sure to check the objective and aim for that while proceeding. In terms of rewards, travelers can look forward to winning primo gems and other various prizes. Yes.
Ooh, I like prizes.
And last but not least, version 3.3 will also have leyline overflow events.
Oh, nice.
Let's go. To saving their resin and earning more Mora and experience.
جهزوا جمعوا مورا وكتب تطوير.
That'll be great.
اللي ما عنده 1000 كتاب تطوير زي جاهز ها. اللي ما عنده 36 مليون مورا يجهز. واللي عنده زي يسوي.
Yeah. So travelers looking to upgrade their characters won't want to miss this.
Yeah, I mean, this is all good stuff.
In addition to the new version's limited time events, version 3.3 will also be adding a new permanent game mode called Genius Invocation TCG.
Genius Invocation TCG!
But before we get into that, let's take another quick break and enjoy a redemption code!
Genius Invocation TCG officially available. يلا الكود الأخير يا حلوين. يا قلبي صراحة حماس. يعني شوفوا الايفنتات بالنسبة لي الآن لو أعطيكم نظرة عن الايفنتين مكررات ما عندي مشكلة اني مرة حبيته مرة رهيبات حبيته قبل. حلو انك تدخل ضرب وحوش من اول. انا احب ذي الايفنتات ما احب الايفنتات اللي اطباق سكر ما ادري وشو سبايسز ما احب كذا. بعدين في الايفنتات الجديدة زي البالونات يعني ما مرة عجبني البالونات. بس في ايفنت الايتو الاول كبير حق الجن هذا شاد فضولي ابي اعرف ايش السالفه. واضح ان في قصه حلوه وراها. هذا احساسي. اعطونا واحد جديد كويس واحد جديد خربوطي لعبه. اعطونا الاوراق هذه الجديده بتكون كبيره مره رهيبه صراحه. بعدين اعطونا 2 قدام. حلو التنويع ذا. لو يستمرون كذا كويس. لو يجون المره الجايه ونزلوا كلنا ايفنتات قديمه هنا نتضايق ولا ايفنتات خايسه. هنا على الاقل اعطونا في تنوع فحبيت صراحه. حبيت بالذات الاوراق هذه.
During our journey into that, we've stumbled across several NPCs
the high quality stuff
Genius Invocation TCG. So next,
يا
We'll
ساتر
introduce this
والله
card
حظك
game
انت زي
that's been
حظي.
taking Teyvat
ترى
by
حظي انا
storm.
بعصا
In the
زي
version
كذا كله
3.1
فوق
special
75
program,
كله
we already
بعصات.
revealed that Genius
سحبت 1000 سحبة في
Invocation
تاور
TCG
بعد ما
will be
جاني
a
الا
card
واحد.
game where we can
ايش
challenge
صار؟
various
واللي
characters
جاني
and
عندي فول
NPCs or
كونسليشن.
battle against your friends. But there
واحد
is
اللي عندي فول
actually a
كونسليشن بعد.
legend behind this game. It is said that a young guy in Sumeru found an ancient casket of tomes in the attic. He opened it
يا
and
ويلي يا عبد
discovered that
الرحمن.
the soul of an
معلومك.
ancient TCG player called the
على حبة
Crocodile
الخال
King had
الموجودة
been
فيها.
captured inside.
زيت قلبه.
What a name.
انا بديت
It
افهم شوي
turns
وضعهم.
out that the Crocodile King was King Deshret's viceroy, who battled an opponent named the Ibis King.
هل جابوا
During
بال
the
عشان
match, the
سكاراموش؟
Crocodile King fell prey to his opponent's scheme
تتوقعون كذا
and was
السبب؟
sealed away in the casket of tomes.
اياتو شطحة.
Ouch,
بس
game
سكاراموش
over.
بس بال مربوطة مع
After being
سكاراموش.
unexpectedly released by the kid, the Crocodile King possesses him and helps him to gradually climb the ranks to
حبة خال
becoming
هي
a
حبة خال نفس
legendary
الشيء يوكي.
TCG
ويلكم
player.
دودو حيوا بعد عيني.
Nice. Hang on, is it just
أخبارك
me or does
اليوم؟
that kind of sound like the plot to a light novel or something?
بس مرتاحين بعد كل شيء
You're
صار.
right. It turns out that Yai Publishing House is about to release a hit light novel series based on Genius Invocation TCG.
Okay, now this is starting to sound like a plug for
بإذن الله
Yai
بتجيبينها يا
Publishing.
نات.
Maybe.
وسي
But
2
anyway,
بعد.
that's the
جلطين
legend on
جلطة في
how
العمر.
Genius
فجر
Invocation
حظك تفجير.
TCG came to be. Though it's probably just a story they came up with for marketing the game.
So while you were telling us about the story, I was over here researching the rules to the
يس
game.
مركز على كلام
Basically,
كلامكم مع كلامهم.
Genius Invocation TCG is a game where you use a constructed deck of cards to duel
نايس
against
قاعد
an
يتكلم
opponent. The
عن لعبة
objective
البطايق.
is to defeat all of your opponent's character cards.
That's right.
Also, there are many features and mechanics in the game that resonate with Genshin Impact's gameplay, so it shouldn't be too hard for players to get the hang of.
Right, I even saw some elemental
يس
reactions
كلهم
in the
لهم
game.
علاقة.
Yup, a
اياتو
constructed
الا
deck
ايتو
must
ايتو
contain
مدري ممكن
character
ايتو.
cards.
ايتو
And
عشان
as you
الجن
might
ايفنت
expect,
الجن بس
these
اتوقع.
character cards have a normal attack,
ايتو عشان
an
الجن
elemental
الجن.
skill, and an elemental burst. So when a character card deals elemental damage to an enemy, it will cause them to be affected by that element. Then you can switch to a character card of a different element and use their abilities to trigger an elemental reaction.
يا رب
Did you
تصير
guys
ودي
notice
شو
that
ردة
they're even
فعلك.
monster character cards?
وجدا
Can we even make a
جدا
deck
حماس.
with just the monsters?
مين يذكر
You're really getting into this, Max.
I like card games!
Who doesn't?
سوري فواز بعدين شغلها.
So in Genius Invocation TCG, all actions require you to spend elemental dice. Each round,
يعطيك العافية
both you
أستاذ
and your
البوت.
opponent will roll 8
واللي
elemental
يتلقاك من
dice.
واسع بابا.
Each of these elemental dice can have any one of 8 elemental attributes.
Hold on, but there's only 7 elements in the world of Teyvat.
You're right. So in addition to the 7 standard elements, there's also one called the Omni element. The elemental dice required for a character card to perform an action correspond to the character's element. So, for example, a Pyro character like Diluc needs either Pyro or Omni elemental dice to perform an action. Clear now?
Yep,
Okay.
crystal clear.
Also, elemental dice can be used to
في شوية
switch
تعقيد.
characters or play a variety of other cards,
هذه كلها
such as
بطايق
equipment
السبورت.
cards, event cards,
شغل
and
نظام
support
وذا
cards.
ويتشر وتكون
All
بطايق
these
حقتها.
cards create the potential for a variety of
يعني
strategies.
يختلف النظام
Right.
بس يعني
While
لعبة
playing
بطايق.
Genius Invocation
Yeah,
TCG, travelers can earn player experience, which will increase your player level. As your level increases, you'll be able to challenge more
ما
characters
شاء الله
and
هناجي هنا
NPCs.
تفجر حظك بعد
By
انت زي انا
completing
كذا كذا
challenges,
جبت
you
سي
may
2
earn lucky coins,
سلاحه
new cards, or
150 وش.
other rewards. Lucky coins can be exchanged in the event shop for cards, or can even unlock dynamic skins for certain cards.
Dynamic skins? Those are cards that have moving illustrations,
skins
right?
That's right. All character cards can unlock a dynamic skin. After unlocking that, there'll even be a cool bonus animation whenever you cast that character's elemental burst.
And if you're
نايس.
confident in your TCG skills, you can also invite a friend to duel. After reaching a high enough
جهز
player level,
نفسك
you'll
فواز.
even unlock a match.
جهز
making mode.
نفسك.
So be sure to give it a try.
Travelers should note that
نفسك.
playing against your friends or other travelers
بل
won't
معركة
count towards
القادمة.
any leaderboards or provide any
احذر
rewards.
مني
So you can relax. It's all just for
فأنا
fun.
قادم لك بدون يضيق
Okay, that's everything we have for Genius
بالضبط زي
Invocation
يوغيو.
TCG, and that brings us to the end of today's special program.
ترى مو
So,
ايفنت
what did you
هذا هذا
Why
بيكون
do
ثابت
does it have
طول
to
الوقت
be
اعتقد
over?
طول
There's so
جنسي
much that this
خلاص
version has to offer.
Yeah, I can't even take it all in right now. I'm just super stoked to
لا
be
ما
part of
قمن
this.
بس في باللعبه
I
ذي
think I just gained some Kuguryoku
قد قالوا
points
قبل انه
just
ما في
doing
الا
this
7
whole thing.
المنتس ذاتس ات.
Man, the new characters look cool.
I know what about
مرة
Skarmosh
هذاك
hovering?
شيء. احب
Like,
الالعاب
that's
البطاقات
insane.
في الالعاب
That's awesome.
العاديه
That's super
يعني
dope.
دائما
That's
تكون
awesome. And
تعطيك
I
جو ثاني
cannot wait
وتدخلك كذا جو
to
جميل
play
تلعب
some of these
بالشخصيات اللي
events
انت
and
تحبها
mini
باللعبه
games. I'm
نفسها.
super excited. This was so fun. I'm really glad that we got to do the special program together.
I'm so happy I got to come back
Ooh.
for another special program. This is my
الله يرحم
third
فواز اذا ما
time being
فيها
on one of
محوته
these, and I can't wait
اذا ما
for
تصير
number
حوت
4.
تشتري
I'm
بطايق
so happy.
وشحن
This
ومدري
is
ايه.
my first one, so
جي
thank you
الفواز.
for having me.
راحت
Doesn't it feel
عليك.
good?
Yes,
Doesn't
I
it feel
feel
good to
honored
feel
to be here.
special?
Seriously, I'm
Do
just
you
like-
feel special?
I
feel
do.
special.
Thank you.
كيوت سكراموش.
Well, I think this is the end of our special program. So
البوس الله
I hope
يعطيكم
everyone
العافيه.
enjoyed it, and we'll
I
see
did.
you in game. Okay, bye.
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 Bye, everyone.
See you later!
الدلبو انا قعدت خلصنا صراحه مره فخامه نعطيهم الموت فخامه. لا ما نبي وجه متنمر. اوكي ان شاء الله عجبكم وحبيتوا اللي شفناه. صراحه ايفنتات مره حلوه. افضل واحلى شيء الايفنت الاخير بيكون مره نظيف حق البطايق وباذن الله بيكون مطول معنا وبيجلس الفتره طويله. طبعا في كثير قاعدين يشتكوا من بال بس في كثير برضو مستانسين البال. مبروك اللي كانوا يبغون بال وحظ اوفر للي محشورين الحين بالبرومو جيم. في سكاراموش شخصيه جديده بتجي ومعها فيروزان مره هبات. انا ناوي ان شاء الله اجيب سكاراموش وافجر فيه وشات. ان شاء الله عجبكم البث. بس دقيقه فواز يا عيني بس دقيقه ان شاء الله عجبكم البث حقهم والبث حقنا. نشوفكم ان شاء الله في البثوث القادمه وحيكون برضو في مقطع قادم لاهدة ومقطع قادم سكراموش اول ما ينزل. يعطيكم العافيه ولا تحرموني من اللايك والسبسكرايب والى اللقاء.